I don't know how to start it. I'll just start it. I was like, I was gonna creep in, all creepy like. Maybe you can do some sort of like effect with the editing to give it like this awesome intro. Or we could do like the normal YouTube intro. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get right into it.
You can tell them a funny joke.
Tell them a funny joke?
Mm-hmm.
Why are pirates called pirates? They just are. Okay, we got Jackie here. We're at the shop, and this is like our third YouTube video. It's pretty crazy. We're still not great at it, but we're getting better. And today, Jackie's gonna be working on her race car a little bit. We're gonna be digging into some of the stuff that we gotta get done to Mr. Crow. It's super windy here in Oklahoma, so the shop always sounds like it's falling down.
Because it is.
Because it is. Let's just be honest. But that's about all of this deal. I'm gonna grab this and we're gonna go make fun of Jackie while she works on a race car. All right. What are you doing to this thing? Huh?
Admiring the beauty.
Wow, check out the lighting, man. I am getting good at this.
Maybe I could get a job doing it. I know a company that could hire you.
That could hire me to do lighting?
Mm-hmm.
Who's
They
that?
like light scenes where people work on cars and then they go street race.
Who? 1320 Video?
No, I think they do track racing.
Track racing? 1320, no.
Pilgrim Studios, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, Pilgrim. No, I'm not that good. Now you gotta be really good at lighting. You gotta be like Scorsese.
Yeah, if you were Pilgrim, the real lights would be off and there'd be like black lights and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm not that good at it. Yeah. We're just trying to do something for YouTube. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to put no $1 million production together.
You know, just the $5,000 I've spent on all of the YouTube equipment, but it's fine. Anyway.
Yeah, but you're not bitching, right?
No. Some of my headers.
What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we haven't got to do that yet. What are those?
They're so cute.
What are those?
They're just small little bullhorns, you know?
Small ones. Yeah. Yeah, they look small. Let me try and see if I can get this into perspective here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Small. That's not too big at all. That's, you know, nice, modest bullhorns.
This is the entry level.
Yeah, entry-level bullhorns.
Yeah.
You know, something that says, it's not a pro nitrous car, it just looks like one. How big is
I feel like
that?
it screams, I want to be Ron Rhodes, you know?
I don't know. I think that bullhorn there skips all the way to, I want to be Jim Halsey.
I mean, I really do want to be Pat Musey, but...
Yeah. that bullhorn screams, well, no, Pat runs pretty much all Zoomies now, so... You know who that is? That bullhorn screams Dave's RV. Yeah. You ever seen that car?
No.
Oh, man.
I thought you were talking about Dave.
No, Dave's RV, Nitrous Pro Mod up
I
north
didn't watch
of here.
Pro Mod growing up.
They have, yeah, Dave's RV has like the biggest Gorilla Flames ever, and he has giant bullhorns like that, so.
Yeah, we've had some people ask why no Zoomies, but there's not really any room this way, you know?
Yeah, it's a stock front end.
Yeah.
Stock Cadillac front end, so the fender area is limited, but let's check out the rest of it.
But we're gonna have, you know, just picture them over the whole car, you know.
That's the plan. So let's see what you got here on the header front.
So this was the what?
I see your little bitty mufflers there.
This was the 2 1/8, right?
What?
To 2 1/4.
Yep, 2 1/8 here.
Here.
Yep.
2 1/4.
2 1/4 into
Collector, muffler.
4.5-inch collectors, and then what she's calling a muffler, and then the bullhorn.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, dude, that looks so sweet.
Twan killed it.
Twan killed it on the headers.
At some point, I will insert
Man.
the header build time lapse that he also killed all while building the headers.
Yeah, we have some footage of him building the headers. We'll put that in at some point in the video, but we know that not everybody likes time lapse, but at least you get to see a little bit of the process. But man, he killed it. It looks killer.
Killer, killed it, all of them.
So, okay. I talked to Chicken Bone.
Chicken Bone, my best friend.
Yeah, that's the guy who built the engine out of Louisiana at CNC. What does it say on your little carburetor top there?
CNS. Performance
CNS.
Engines.
Sorry.
It also says horsepower is no accident, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, so Chicken Bone at CNS says that Braswell is building you the two 900 and 900 CFM carburetors for it.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. So we got to get the top off of the intake and get it sent back to Chicken Bone so that he can take the program off of it, and then he's going to have us a dual carburetor top CNC'd and then build a linkage for it, and then Braswell's going to send him the carburetor so that he can put that all together, and then it'll go right on the car.
And hopefully he will ship himself with it so that we can take him to the racetrack with us.
He did say he wanted to come up and go to the track with us and do a little shakedown, or we may take it down there and go to the track where down there at No Problem Raceway where that's his home track. So we may go down there and shake it down. I don't know, but we're getting close. So you have got to get the top off of that intake, and then I will talk a little bit about what's going on and some of the other stuff on the car while you're working.
Perfect.
And, you know, do my job. I get the shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what you're good at.
I get the shots that people want.
Mm-hmm.
Got to give the people what they want.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so get the damn intake off.
Start with the carburetor.
Yeah, start with the carburetor.
Mm-hmm. The big one or not the big one?
What?
This one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Or should I use this one?
I don't care, whatever you're the one using them.
So what else are we going to tell them?
Well, what else you got going on?
You know, I did the laundry yesterday.
Nobody gives a shit about that stuff.
Well, me either. I ordered the fuel pump.
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
Regulator. I don't remember. You know my memory is shit. What did I get? Tell me.
You got
I don't remember.
You got a Weldon 16250A.
Yes. No. No.
No?
Actually, I did not.
No?
I was supposed to. That's what Chicken wanted me to get.
So your
and that-
memory is shit unless it's to correct me, in which case your memory is
No,
excellent.
I'm remembering. I just need a little jog, you know. I ordered the 250A, correct, and the regulator that went with it, and the filter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim something, I don't remember what his last name was.
Jim Craig.
Jim Craig at Weldon emailed back the next day when they went to go ship it and said that they didn't have any 250s in stock. So the 251 is like the medium, right? There was one smaller and one bigger. Well, he said, or there might have been more than that, I don't know. He said to go with the 420, right? Yeah, 420. So he switched it for a 420, which can go to more horsepower. And he said that it should not negatively affect my application, but it will have room for growth in the future, you know, when I get like a 6, whatever those are.
Always good to have room for growth.
Yeah, like growth.
Okay.
So he swapped that stuff, and then he swapped the regulator and all that stuff for the bigger one too.
And the filter.
Yeah.
Because now we got to
But then he said to
change the
run
fuel,
dash
yeah.
12s instead of.
Yeah, we got to run dash 12 fuel lines up to the under the hood instead of dash 10 because of the bigger pump, right?
Right. That is what he shared.
Right.
Right.
You coming to this side now?
Am I doing this right? I should take those 4 off, right?
What?
I should take these 4 off, right?
Yep.
I'm honestly so scared right now that when we take this off, there's going to be like carnage.
Carnage? In the motor?
Yeah.
Why would there be carnage in the motor? We just got the motor. We haven't even ran it yet.
Yeah. But remember when we picked it up, Kai was like, you know, man, if there's anything wrong, you just bring it back and get your money back. So now I felt it sucks because, not sucks, but when I had told you I wanted the nitrous motor, I didn't want to just buy one off of any nitrous idiot on frickin' Racing Junk or some shit, you know? And I was like, Kai and Lizzie and Pat, they definitely know what they're doing, so I trust a motor from them. Maybe we can get one from them or something, you know? And then we picked it up, and Kai was like, well, I mean, if there is anything wrong, just let me know.
He did say, if there's anything wrong with it, it must have happened on the last pass because it ran great the whole time. So hopefully nothing happened to it.
I don't see anything yet.
But even if there did, I doubt we'd see anything in the intake anyway.
No, it's just got me scared a little bit, you know.
I think you're just being a nervous nitrous racer.
Yeah. I take all that off
Holy
too.
shit.
Don't show my secrets. No.
Whoa.
All this off? Yeah.
What? Yeah. Wow. So Chicken said that Uncle Tony did the head work and the intake work. Oh my Lord.
Take these out.
Whoa.
Please don't drop anything down my motor.
Oh my
And then I
God.
almost did it.
You don't drop anything down your motor. How about that?
You're the one that dropped something down my
I just want
motor.
to look. I just want to look down in there. Dude, that is insane. I ain't never had no tunnel ram on nothing.
That one doesn't want to come out like the other ones.
What?
Where's my ratchet?
Wow, dude. Oh my God. Oh, dude. You've got to see this. People need to see this.
No, they don't, actually. This is my little 383, remember?
Oh my Lord.
Okay, talk about something else.
What?
People are going to
I
click
don't
off
want
because
to.
you haven't said nothing.
No, they're not. If they could see what I see, they would never click off. Dude, that is the most ginormous small block
Don't say
cylinder
that.
head I've
Come
ever
on.
seen. It's got dimples in it. It looks like a golf
Come
ball.
on.
It looks
Now
like
it's going to be, Jackie's got some pro nitrous motor.
it looks like a golf ball. Like they dimpled the port in there. Whoa.
Yes, this is a golf ball motor.
This is a bad boy little 66
I've been
Camaro
telling you this whole
motor.
time it's a bad boy, and you're like,
Man, that's wild.
everybody's like, why would you go back in time, Jackie? Oh, no.
I've never seen anything like that in my whole dang life. Did you just strip it?
No, that one's just not straight.
Great.
Don't do that.
Great. You just crossed threaded. You toenailed it. Great.
This is on the front one. Ew, dude, it smells weird.
What do you mean it smells weird?
Smell it.
Smell what?
Right here. Probably the smell of gasoline. I'm not used to that. Is that what that smell is?
I don't know.
Smell it.
I don't smell anything from here.
Yeah, I don't smell anything here, but when I got my face by it, it smells weird.
Does it smell like a nitrous motor? Does it smell like melted
I don't know,
aluminum?
I've never had a nitrous motor.
Does it smell like melted aluminum and New Balance?
Let me text my dad. It smells like, I don't know what that smell is yet.
That makes me nervous. Why is it? What do you mean it smells weird?
Dude, it fucking smells weird.
You're killing me. Anyway. Okay, while you're doing that, you're doing great.
Thanks.
You're doing an amazing job, Jackie. Just amazing.
Thanks. Dude, that's a fucking weird smell.
What?
It's such a weird smell. It smells like feet.
That's weird. I don't know that your intake should smell like feet. I don't know. So what else is next? We got the fuel pump coming, right? We need a water tank because Jackie literally will not do a radiator. Absolutely won't do it. So since she doesn't,
It's not that I won't.
It
It's
is
just
that you
we
won't.
consulted with the fast nitrous guys, you know, like Chicken Bone, Ron Rhodes, Bobby Fire Pipes, who else?
Those are some fast nitrous guys for sure.
Who else was it?
Phil Cook. We talked a lot to Phil Cook.
You know, that would stay a lot better if I didn't make you cut that whole windshield thing out. You know?
Okay, anyway, yeah, so we consulted with some people and it was, you know, it was half one way, half the other. A lot of the guys said to run a small radiator and use the chiller box in between rounds.
A Chili Willy?
Yeah, Chili Willy, but man, that's tough for us because on the street, anything can happen and you just never know. You could go up there, do your burnout, you could be ready to stage and they could get a call on the radio saying the cops are coming and then you have to hurry back to the trailer and then just as you're strapping the car down, they could say, okay, coast is clear, and then you got to go back up there, do another burnout, and race. And there's just
Which that seems like a crazy scenario, but it has happened.
It happens more than, yeah.
More than it has not.
Yeah, it happens more than it hasn't happened. So, you know, on the street, you can't control the situation. So you need to be able to control it. You need to be able to roll with the punches, and a Chili Willy box just seems like it'd be a pain in the ass on the street. Now, for those of you that don't know what a Chili Willy box is, it's basically a big window unit, like air conditioning window unit, and you hook your water lines up to it that goes through the motor, and you run a little bitty radiator up front with a little bitty water pump on it, and you hook your water lines to the Chili Willy with two quick disconnects, and then you pump your water from your engine and your radiator through the Chili Willy box, and you cool the water off. And the Chili Willy box gets it really cold, and it works really good. But so then you're storing a little bit of cold water in that little bitty radiator. So you go up, you do your burnout, you don't turn the water pump on until after the burnout. And then after the burnout and you're backing up, you turn the water pump on, and then that takes the water that's in the little bitty radiator, and it uses that for the pass. So
Well,
as
not
you're going,
radiator.
huh?
Radiator or like.
Well, no, when you use a Chili Willy box, they have a little radiator up there that they do that. This is Bobby Fire Pipes told me all about it. So he said that, and then that way you're not carrying 5-6 gallons of ice water in a tank in the car. You know, you're just carrying the water that's in the motor plus the water that's in the little bitty radiator, which he said is only a couple quarts. So it takes a lot of weight off the car, and it works great at the track because you can control the scenario. You do your burnout, you back up. As you're gonna stage, you turn the water pump on, and then it takes the warm water that's in the motor, circulates it into that little bitty radiator. It takes the cold water out of the little bitty radiator, puts it into the motor, and it cools the motor. And then that way, on a pass, it's nice and cold. Then you come back and you hook it to the Chili Willy, and you do it all over again.
This one had a washer on it, the one that I put the mark on.
Oh, good. Yeah, you marked it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, then be really careful not to drop anything in that motor because the valves are open. So then it works great, but on the street you just have there's just no way. And if you're on the street and you got to go back up and you got to race, or the cops come, you got to shut it off. I mean, we've been to races before where guys did their burnouts, they were pulling into stage. One guy was already on the brake, and we got a call over the radio that said cops, and we had to shut them off. And they sat in the street with them shut off for 10-15 minutes waiting on the cops to leave the area. And then you got to fire it back up, and you got to do another burnout, and then you got to stage and race. So, and then after that, you got to be able to drive it back. So there's just no way to deal with that scenario with the Chili Willy. You can't say, you can't tell the guy flagging the race, hey, I got to go back to
BRB.
BRB, I got to go hook up to the Chili Willy, and you can't drag the Chili Willy out into the street and hook it up to the car. So in that situation, there's just no way to use that with confidence. So, and then sometimes on the street, something happens and you got to run it back. You don't have time to let it sit there and cool off. If there was a weird call or if something happened and you can make some money running it back, you got to be able to turn it right around. So,
well, sometimes you might be the last pair up and then draw and be the first pair up.
That's very true. That happens a lot. That's happened to me a lot. And in that situation, you need to be able to go. So we looked at the Chili Willy thing. We don't think that's going to be for us.
Well, it might be for us at some point.
It might be at the track, but I wanted to put a radiator in the front with fans. And then that way, we just leave the fans running. And then, it's never going to get really super cool, but, at least we can race the car back to back over and over. It won't make the horsepower that the Chili Willy box deal would, but whatever. Well, Jackie is not down for having all that weight on the front of the car, and I understand. So,
it's just, I have seen cars, a lot of the times, like, a car with a radiator has the biggest problem. Like, remember when I raced in the Kansas City race, and I was waiting to go up behind the people that were up, you remember? And the car with the radiator blew antifreeze all over the road.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like,
that's true.
It's not that can't happen with oil or whatever,
and,
but
if we are running a combination that we are going to push it pretty hard, and it could have issues, and if it does, the last thing we want is to pressurize the radiator. If we blow a head gasket or torch a head or something, pressurize the radiator, and then it blows water underneath the car.
Well,
so we don't want that.
This car was extremely heavy, and we are getting a lot of weight out of it. And the weight that we're putting back on it, I don't want to put in the worst place possible, which is on the nose of the car.
In front of the front spindle.
Right.
So what?
There's a bolt in the fender over there.
So after talking to Chicken Bone about it a little bit, and we've taken, everything into consideration of what we're doing, and also, Josh and a couple other guys said to do it a long time ago, but I want to see it. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to put a water tank in the back, you know, 5 or 7 gallon ice water tank in the trunk.
That's the one that I said was weird, and it's like that on the inside and the outside.
Wait, let me see. Turn it over. It is weird. It had a washer on the inside?
No, this one had a washer, but that was one that I was like, oh no, it's going weird.
That's a weird hole.
It looks like it had a problem at one point.
It does. Okay, so long story longer, we ended up going with a 5 or a 7.5 or whatever gallon water tank in the trunk with a rule pump inside of it, like a swimming pool or spa pump, and we're gonna run that, and then that way we dictate how this thing cools, because we can shove ice in it and we can make it cool. What?
That is so light.
That is, what is it?
I don't know. Plastic? What is that? In my head, I was like going to muscle it up, you know?
It feels like plastic. Huh. Weird. So at least with the water tank, we can dictate. We can drain the water out, we can shove it full of ice, and we can make another pass. We can, you know, if she needs to drive it, and, you know, if the cops come and she has to keep driving, she can drive it and it'll stay cool. And then worst case scenario, you know, we pull it over and drain it and put some ice in it. Oh my Lord. Whoa. I am not even joking. I have never seen anything like that in my life.
It's because you never seen a 383, you know? 66 Camaro stuff.
Dude, people of YouTube, can you see that? Can you see that for real? I've been around race cars a long damn time, boys and girls. I've never seen... I've seen them golf ball the combustion chamber before. But man, back when I was doing nitrous, nobody was golf balling the intake port. Dude, it's massive. Not only does it have dimples like a golf ball, you could drop a golf ball down it. Wow. If anybody watching this video knows Uncle Tony Bischoff, please let him know. He is a bad, bad man. I can't stop looking at it. Sorry, I know people are gonna think that's boring as fuck, but dude. All right, we're gonna cover up the top of this intake so that no small children fall in those ports made by Titleist. And then we're gonna move over to the size shop.
gonna show me your secrets?
No secrets, but we were kind of mean on the last video, and we showed this big old crazy box, and we didn't open it. And I've seen a lot of comments on what people thought it was, and honestly, some of them would be really cool. There was a lot of people that had some pretty wild ideas of what would be in this silly box, but...
Silly?
Huh?
Silly box?
Yeah, I mean, we built the silly box, but not for the video. We built it to transport what's in it. On the last season of Street Outlaws, which will air soon, you will see us running a pretty tired engine in the car. We've been running that engine for a long time. It's been really good to us, but towards the end of the season.
Well, a long time for us has been 4 years, probably over 1,000 passes.
Oh, I don't know about 1,000, but
Do you think you make 4 years, 1,000? So do you think you make 250 passes a year? Yes.
We put a lot of runs on it. We do. We put a lot of runs on our stuff. We're lucky enough that we don't have issues. I think the way that we run the car helps, and the way that we tune the motor helps. And just the fact that we've been running it so long, gives us a little bit of an edge on.
Well, you and this motor are well acquainted.
Yeah, I'm very meticulous with the tune-up, and I stay on top of stuff pretty good. So we get to run the motor quite a while, and a lot of guys haven't got to do that very much. They have a lot more maintenance they got to do and stuff, and I understand that, and I'm definitely not talking trash on their program or anything like that. All I'm doing is talking about my program. So don't think this is anything like that. Don't compare me to anybody else, because this has nothing to do with anybody but us. We run a lot of licks on our stuff, and we run it till we literally, this is the first time we've ever actually wore it slap out. Like, we've run it before to where it was, where we felt like it was wore out, or it wouldn't spool as fast, or it didn't have oil pressure or whatever. But this time we wanted to see, how long we could run it, and it still ran good right up until the very last pass. It was still hauling ass, and it was still fast. So, but it just got to the point where, nitro and alcohol is hard on rings, and it's hard on cylinder walls, and just over time, it just literally wore out. I couldn't believe what was happening. You never feel like in a race motor that makes 3,000 horsepower or whatever crazy stuff we're doing, you never feel like a motor is going to make it to that point. It's you always feel like it's probably going to break, or it's probably going to eat itself alive before.
Well, a catastrophic failure before just simply wearing out.
Yeah, this deal just wore out. It had no more ring seal at all. It started to get worse and worse. It wasn't, so we kind of knew it was wore out, but we were hoping it would last through the season. And we were band-aiding every run. We were trying everything we could to keep it going. But man, at the end of the season, it just wore flat out.
He was like, I'm done.
It just had no ring seal, and any time it went into positive pressure, it would blow all that positive pressure right by the rings, and it would go into the crankcase, and it would blow all the oil out of the motor. It was nuts. It got to the point where, and I've got a 1.5 gallon catch can in the front of the car, so it got to the point where on an 1/8 mile run,
we were emptying the catch can before every pass.
Yeah, and it was filling it pretty much to the top every lick, but then at the end there, the last couple passes, it was filling it and overflowing it before we got to the 1/8 mile, to the point where the car was completely sideways. So
well, because where the catch can is, you'll see when we go to the car, it's in front of the driver tires.
Yeah, it's probably not it's not the best place for a catch can.
But
Whatever.
We didn't expect more than 1.5 gallons to come out of it, so what was coming out of it was overflowing and then going in front of those two tires.
Yeah, so it would mist out of the catch can, right as the boost was coming in, it was starting to eat, it'd be on a run and it would mist out of the catch can and it would go left. And the car had been going straight for so long,
With the wing.
Yeah, I mean, ever since we did the wing, it's just been, it's been pretty great.
Yeah, we never made that many straight ones in a row.
It's been pretty great. It
Remember
really
we were
has.
like, yeah, it's straight, but eventually it's going to go hard left or hard right.
Yeah, I was, it wasn't just the wing. Obviously, we redid the anti-roll bar and stuff over the break after MPK, and we cut all that out, and Bickle did the anti-roll bar for us, and then we welded it all in here and did a set of wheelie bars and stuff. So it wasn't just the wing, but man, it was like night and day. It was like we bolted the wing on, and it was every pass after that was dead straight. So when it started to go left, I was like, man, something's wrong, and it's not the chassis. So.
Well, and I was looking at the chassis between rounds just to look at the welds and see if they were broken and see if anything.
Yeah, because it had gone so straight. We were like, why? How's it going to start going left out of nowhere? And it was like, it didn't start going left off the starting line. It would go perfectly straight, and then it was right when the boost would come in, it would just kick left. And it was because when the boost came in, it was pushing the oil. The boost was going into the oil pan and pushing all the oil out of there. So we talked to Butler, and that was Rocky 4. Rocky 3 was the first aluminum motor that I built back in, I don't even know.
From your Chromod?
Yeah, 16 probably,
Yeah.
16 in the Chromod days. We had cracked the iron block and we had ran it. We had those bearing problems and we fixed it, but in the middle of all that, we had cracked the iron block and we had pushed it too far. So they didn't have any more iron blocks at the time. So we built an aluminum motor, and that was Rocky 3, or what we called Rocky 3. And then that's the one that won Bristol. It was also the one that went 3s in the Chromod.
You won Armageddon on that, right? In your white car, your first car?
No, that was the iron motor. That was Rocky 2, I think.
But no, we raced
Mega Race. Yeah, Rocky 3 was a very, very positive combo. I mean, it won a lot of money and a lot of races. So whenever we got rid of Rocky 3, we pulled it out and went to Rocky 4, Butler, had it. It wasn't like we sold it or got rid of it. It was just, it was just wore out as well. So whenever this deal happened at the end of the last season, or the end of this season on the show, we got with Butler and was like, hey, we need to freshen up Rocky 4. And he was like, we still have Rocky 3. And there was a lot of stuff that we had done back then that we aren't doing now. And so I never even thought about running Rocky 3. It was kind of that motor, we had band-aided so much, and we had changed so much on the ring package and the piston package, with Ross pistons and Madston or whatever over there. We had worked really hard to make Rocky 4 a better motor, and it was. So I never even thought about Rocky 3 as an alternative. But Butler said, if you give us a little time, we can get Rocky 3 back together. I still had a billet crank that was good, and it was at Butler. So he was like, we've got some stuff here. We could make something happen. So it doesn't seem like a big deal to you guys because, you saw this big box and you thought it might have been a 481X or a Hemi or something cool like that, It's not a Hemi, it's not a 481X, but it is. But it has won enough races. And it's outran plenty of 481Xs and plenty of Hemis.
Ooh, baby.
It's kind of anticlimactic when you pull the cover off because it's just a cast-headed, cast-block Pontiac, but...
This is Rocky 3.
Yep.
Yep.
And T&D worked with us on the stainless rockers for Rocky 4, so we still had this set here. And so this is the original set of rails that I had done, and I had ran them backwards before, so I notched this for the studs. we tried all kinds of crazy stuff with this motor to make power and to make RPM with a Pontiac. And so there's a lot of crazy old stuff in this motor that we don't do anymore, but then it's also been updated. So like you can see on the front side, we had a spare timing belt setup that BOP had loaned us. And so we put it on this motor. And so now we got all the front drive stuff, it'll have the same front drive stuff that we built for Rocky 4, and
It still has your notes on it.
yeah, yeah, crank reference 56 degrees, cam sync was at 75, you know, it has all my old weird notes on it. It's weird because I'm holding, look at that. That's freaky. I'm holding a red Sharpie and it's red Sharpie.
It's like seeing a ghost. You know?
Yeah, well that's what I do whenever I'm working on the motor, but. So there it is. There's our super big secret. It's
Surprise,
a
guys.
482 cubic inch Pontiac motor.
Pretty close to 41.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen those.
Even better than a Hemi.
I don't know if you've seen those little bitty ports on Jackie's motor, but wait till you see the size of these bad boys.
Yeah, show them some professional ports.
This deal's a real racing engine here. Phew, look at that.
That's
Boy.
so
You don't
impressive.
know nothing about head flow like that there. These bad mamma jammas flow 330 CFM.
It's so big it won't even light up the hole.
Yeah, that's our, but it's been threes, man. So the way we run this engine, it talks to us. We've ran it long enough. We feel like we know how to talk to it, and it talks to us. And the way we run it, and we keep really good notes on it, and we're able to keep really good notes on it because it stays together for so long and we make so many licks with it. So, you know, you just end up with a really solid program to where you know everything about it, and any little thing changes, you see it, you know it. You know, if you stay up on the data and you stay up on the notes, you see it. You see trends, you see something change, you see something going downhill. You know, if Jackie drains a catch can and there's more in it than normal, then we know. So that is the best way for us to run our program. And we've looked at alternatives, you know, trust me, we read all the comments, everybody's saying that, you know, we need to step our game up. We need to find more horsepower and buy a big bad motor, and, you know, and most of those comments are in, you know, most of those comments are from the heart. Most of those comments really want us to do good, and they want to see us to get a bigger, better motor or something. But they also make those comments because that's what other people do. You know, other people get a bigger, better motor or whatever. Or when everybody goes Pro Charger, then all of a sudden it's Chief should get a Pro Charger. Or when everybody goes 481X, Chief should get a 481X. Mm-hmm. And then everybody goes Hemi. Yeah, everybody goes Hemi, then Chief should get a Hemi. Well,
those are fads.
I'm not going to say they're fads because they're amazing pieces of engineering.
Yeah, they're amazing, but it's like everybody is on something for a little bit, you know, and then when the Pro Charger Hemi thing is old news, there's going to be new combos that come out.
You know, and it's not necessarily new combos. Those combos have always existed.
Yeah.
It's just they come back around, you know. Someone finds a different way or a better way to run that combo, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's a thing. And it all trickles down from, like I've always said, it all trickles down from NHRA Pro Mod or Pro Extreme or Pro Boost or whatever. It trickles down. So somebody sees a hole in the rule, and then they buy a screw blower, and then, oh yeah, that gets, you know, ruled out, so they go roots blower, and then, okay, Pro Charger has a hole. There's not any rules on the Pro Charger, so we do that. Well, so then all the time and money gets put into the Pro Charger program, and then it does really well. But as the rules come out, they bring those combinations back to reality, and no longer is the Pro Charger the most dominant thing that's ever walked the earth. So everything has its place and everything has its time. I think a lot of the comments and a lot of the people saying that I need to go Pro Charger or whatever, you know, I think they're just a little bit undereducated on the situation, because those combos are amazing and they make gobs of horsepower, you know, and they are wicked fast. But I've been running this combination long enough that people said I should have gone big block nitrous. You know what I mean?
You still should.
I remember when, Doc and those guys were getting 7, 8, 900 cubic inches. And Kai Kelly, he beat me with a 730 some cubic inch, Chevrolet motor. And back then everybody said, your combinations wore out. You need to go big block nitrous. Well, then the next combination came along and, you need to go 481X twin turbo, and that's just the way of racing. But I can promise you, while those combinations may be good for some people and they may be good for some programs, it's not good for Chief.
Whenever you beat them, you should tell them they should go twin turbo top fuel Pontiac.
Well, it's funny because I've beat all those combinations at one time or another. I've beat every combination there is out there, and I've been beat by all of them. So, for anyone to say that you need to change, that would be like that. Yeah, it would be like me beating Kai and saying you need to go small block twin turbo. Mm-hmm. It all comes full circle, but I promise you,
Right.
And I'm always going to be competitive, and I'm always going to win races. And if I thought for any second, and if anyone thinks I'm stupid, I can't see how that anyone could ever think I'm stupid. But if anyone thinks I'm stupid enough not to make changes and not to be competitive, you're crazy. You know what I mean? If this engine or if this combination couldn't be competitive anymore, I wouldn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, It doesn't matter what it is. If it's not competitive, I'm not going to have it. So, but this is me telling you, this combination is extremely competitive.
Well, you were in the top 5 of America's List the entire time. The
Yeah.
whole 10 weeks or
Well, I was
12
racing
weeks
for
or
number
whatever it
1
was.
every weekend,
Yeah,
And what's
like-
crazy is that when I was racing for number 1, the top 3 cars at America's List was Pro Charged Hemi, Big Block Nitrous, Small Block Pontiac Twin Turbo.
Right.
So
No 41Xs.
So everyone says go Hemi Pro Charged, but the Hemi Pro Charged and the Nitrous and the Pontiac Twin Turbo were all battling it out all season. So there is no single combination that dominates everything every year. It's just not the way it is. But for what I do, the way I race and the way I run my program, we run our stuff on laps. If you give me a motor that'll make it to the finish line 200 laps in a row, I'll figure out how to make it fast. I'll figure out how to win with it. And that's what we do. That's the way we race. So we couldn't race. I just couldn't be competitive if it didn't stay together. So this is the way I have to race. And so I'd love to show you this big bad billet motor in that box, but at the same time, that would be the worst thing I could do, at this point in my career, spending $100,000 or $200,000 on an engine program and spares and everything else. It's just not something I can do.
And it's not that we don't put money in the car. We just do different things, like the nitromethane and.
Of course, yeah, we still put money in the car, but I don't feel like I need to put all my money in the car. You know what I mean? Like, I put enough money in the car that we stay competitive, and if I have to buy something, I will. But that's not the way my mind works. Isn't buy the next thing. My mind says make my thing work, and that's what we do. So, we made changes to it. Ross came up with a little bit better piston design this time. We got a little bit more compression, and Butler came up with a few things in the shore block that are going to make some more power. I've found some horsepower in the combination. I think that's going to help. And then mainly just optimizing the car. So moving some weight around in the car and doing some things differently with the car, I think is going to put us back at the at the very top. I mean, we've never been anywhere but the top, but I think these next few seasons on the street, I think that Top Fuel Pontiac is going to be the best thing there is. But I challenge you, when I beat these guys, because I always do, when I beat these guys, you post on their shit and say, hey, I don't know if your Pro Charged Hemi can be competitive anymore. Maybe you should call Butler and get a Pontiac,
Yeah, one of them twin turbo ones.
Or the 481Xs that I've outrun, So, and while I appreciate everybody's heartfelt sentiment on, and they want to see me do good, that's not the way for me to do good. I promise you.
Yeah, if it's not doing good, we will change it. We're not just gonna fail and
No, I will never, you know, I will never just fall down until I'm not competitive anymore. And you'll never see me, you know, crying on TV or on YouTube and, you know, talking about, well, I'm not competitive anymore, or begging you to believe that I will be competitive one day. That's not me at all. This is the baddest street race car in the world, and it will continue to be the baddest street race car in the world. And anything I decide to do with it, it will be the baddest car in the world, just as it always has been.
yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. But right now our focus is on the street. So
what's our next plan?
the next plan is I got to get this motor out. I'll put that one on the stand, get an oil pan on that one, get that motor in the car, get it fired up.
This motor will go back to Butler.
Yeah, and then check it out. That's something I've never had. I've never had that. I've never had the insurance of having another piece. You know what I mean? I've never had something sitting there that if I tore this thing up, I could grab that one. And in this situation, you know, this thing's going back to Butler. It doesn't need much. It needs rings and, you know, maybe
the yearly freshening.
maybe bearings, you know,
Maybe.
and gaskets, and this thing will be ready to rock. So, but then I can lean on my motor even harder than I've ever leaned on it if I have to, because I have something to put back in it. So it's taken me a long time to get to this place. It's taken me a long time to get to, you know, to be able to have a complete long block, you know, ready to go. That's going to be one of the coolest things about racing this season and next season, is having a piece there, having something that I trust, that if I tear this one up, I can just grab that one. Mm-hmm. So you'll see more nitro, more boost, more power, faster passes, and, you know, and everything we learned with the wing at the end of last season.
The wing.
You know, we learned so much in such a short period of time, and we're going to be able to put all that to use. And I honestly, I don't see anything but total domination everywhere we go. Every time I go to the starting line, I am seeing it. You know, in the past, I've said, man, I hope we do good, or, oh, you know, if I cut a light, if the car does this, all that stuff. It's not even like that now, you know. Now I know, like, we have put so much thought and effort into this program on the street, and not having to concentrate on other things, and not having to try and be competitive and stuff that, you know, we don't have time to learn and be competitive in and switch everything around. Like, it's, you know, having this time off is just, it's made our heads clear to where we can focus on what we're good at, and that's what we plan to do. And every time I line this car up against somebody, and every time I go on the brake and the flame starts shooting out of it, I know that they're fucked.